Hi, I'm Kathy Bomke. My role here at Bomke Farms is not only wife and mother of 4 children, but I also do the accounting for the farm and I assist in the managing of the pumpkin patch that you see here. We began the pumpkin patch so that we could allow people to have the experience of coming out and picking their own pumpkins, and they get the experience of farm life. In the fall, after the pumpkins are done or have been harvested, we begin preparation for the next year. We start by replacing the nutrients that the pumpkins had used that year. We put strips down with the nutrients directly into the strips, and then in the spring we plant oats. Once the oats are planted, we let them grow, they're cut, and they're laid over to act as a bed for the pumpkins. Once that's done, then in those exact strips that we put the fertilizer, we come back and we plant the seed, so the seed's able to reach the nutrients as quickly as possible. So once the seeds have been planted, you can see the vines that grow. This is the first thing that you'll see. Once they reach maturity, they'll begin to develop flowers. There are 2 types of flowers on a pumpkin plant. We have what we call the male flower, which is a longer stemmed flower. It has the pollen inside of it. It sticks up, it comes up first, and then the female flowers are produced after that. What happens is the bee goes into the male flower, collects the pollen, and then places it into the female flower. And then you can see the fruit that begins to develop. You can see that right here on the bottom of this plant. There's that little fruit, which eventually will become this size and then become a full-blown orange pumpkin. It takes about 4 weeks from this size to a mature pumpkin to be able to ready to harvest. We grow over 50 different varieties of pumpkins at Bomke's Patch. Right here I have an example of a few of them. This here is a white lumina. This is a pretty large white lumina that they usually don't get quite this big. Right here we have a mountain king, and we also have, this is a wolf jack-o'-lantern. People like the jack-o'-lantern, the wolf jack-o'-lantern, because it has such a big, huge stem and it really presents well on a porch. This is called a fairy tale. Most people will associate this with Cinderella and her carriage. This is what her carriage looked like, and people love to decorate and stack pyramids with these types of pumpkins here. Over here we have a different color of pumpkin. This is a Gerardelle, and it adds a nice variety of color to a display when they put it in their front yard. So these are some of our favorite pumpkins here, and we do sell quite a few of these at the patch.
So welcome to the set, Kathy. So glad that you could join us.
Thank you for having me.
I learned so much from watching that. I didn't realize that all the different, I mean, I see the pumpkins around, but I didn't realize they have different names. So it was a wolf jack-o'-lantern, right?
There's the wolf, yes.
Okay, the wolf. Another one, hold on, I need to look at my notes. White lumina, that was the other one. White lumina,
yes.
Yeah, that one stuck out to me as well. Looks like you have maybe the most fun around here, because you get people coming to the farm, right? Like,
yes, I do, and you know, I do believe I have the most fun. No doubt,
well, we're so excited you can share with us, and there were a lot of questions. Even earlier we mentioned a little bit about weathering and erosion, so we wanted you to share a little bit. How does weather impact the activities here on the farm?
Oh wow, weather is everything to a farmer. You know, it can affect our planting, our harvest, and even how much money we make in a year's time. You know, you've heard that old saying that you can't control Mother Nature. Well, we've learned that you can't. But what she has taught us is that we need to learn to adapt and make changes when necessary. For instance, if our pumpkins get delayed 10 days, 2 weeks because it's too cold and wet to plant, then we know we just need to mix up the seeds a little bit and add some varieties in there that don't take quite as long to mature, and we'll have pumpkins. Kyle, the thing is with farmers, all we can do, whether we're planting corn, soybeans, or pumpkins, is give that seed the best possible environment to grow, and from there, it's up to Mother Nature.
There it is. Well, it also goes back to having a good plan, because I can tell, learning from everybody here, you have a pretty good plan around here. You know what you're doing. You're not just kind of guessing in the dark.
You can't just jump out there. No, you have to have an idea.
Yeah, there's a little bit of planning involved, but you know, that's a so let's talk specifically about erosion, because that's something that the students are learning about as well in school, about the impacts of weather and how erosion can, well, especially for farming, that can have a pretty big impact on what you do around here. So what do you do? What kinds of solutions do you come up with to curtail that?
Here on the farm, we use a cover crop. And what you're seeing now on the screen is what we call ryegrass, and that's a field farm cover crop. Here at the patch, though, we use a different type of cover crop. It's called oats. It not only helps us with the erosion, what I can say is we maybe recycle the oats, because what we do when we get ready to plant, we cut them off and lay them over, and then that's a bed there for the pumpkins. It's a little bit of protection from the soil and the dampness.
Okay, well, thank you. And as the students can see, and we'll see in just a minute, we have all kinds of props and materials here. Really, it's because when we think about it, the nutrients are so important, but the soils are important too. And the soil here
Yes.
on your farm in Illinois, it's a lot different than the soil even where I'm from, back in Pennsylvania, right? So, you know, can you share anything about that?
Well, that's right, Kyle. Soils are all across the United States are all different. And our soils in Illinois are quite a bit different from the farmer's soil in Florida.
Okay.
So they're all different.
Okay, well, we actually have a special guest here, Haley. If Haley wants to come on over, Haley's going to walk us through a little exercise. And first, I would love you to share with everyone out there, what is your role here? How do you support soil science?
Sure. Well, like the Bomkes, I too am from Illinois, and I am the Illinois Regional Representative for Nutrients for Life. So what that means is that I get to work with both students and teachers in helping provide resources all gauged around plant and soil science. So whether it's presenting at teacher workshops, attending student events, or just here answering questions for them, I'm here to serve as a resource.
Great, and we're really excited that you brought different soil types with us. In fact, we have some students that are going to learn with you today, and maybe this is an activity that they could do back in their classrooms afterwards, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, we're gonna take off for a little bit. We'll welcome the students, bring them on over, and we'll see you in a
All
few
right,
minutes.
come on over.